In Motive DVD number 12, we did a Pimp My Bride's Ride feature, doing up an S15 Silvia in a day. Well, now it's time to pimp my wife's ride, as the S15 is gone and replaced by a family-friendly MY03 WRX Wagon. It's dead stock, automatic and used as a daily driver, baby carrier and family car. Giving it a makeover isn't easy though, as it needs to remain practical, child-friendly, daily drivable and legal. Sounds simple, but not really. So what's the plan? An exterior makeover, performance upgrade and brake upgrade. First up, the exterior. The mods would need to be subtle and not attract police attention, but still make the car look clean and stylish. STI parts are the best solution, so we picked up a new bonnet scoop along with matching intercooler and air guide, and we bought some STI fog light covers, side spats and lip off eBay for only $300. First step was to trial fit the body kit parts, as they're not genuine items. We also decided to remove the side skirt so we could colour match them to the body. We removed the fuel filler cap so we could get the paint matched, and it was off to automotive colour and equipment. The car's paint code is used as a guide, but each batch of cars off the production line can be a little different. So, a spectrometer is used to get the perfect match. The information is downloaded to a computer, which then tells you how much of each paint colour is required to get the right combination. The final touches are done by the human eye to get the perfect match, and the job's done. Bisecker paint and Metalux undercoat and clear, and the parts are now off to Cooper Customs to be painted. Coop had the parts back to us in a couple of days, and they came up and matched perfect. Time to fit everything up. Another thing we did to clean up the look of the car was remove the roof rails. This requires the roof lining to be pulled away to access the bolts, but is worth the effort as it transforms the look of the car. We've ordered new roof gutter strips from overseas, but in typical fashion haven't arrived yet. Wheel choice makes or breaks a car. We wanted something clean and simple that would pop against the clean bodywork and fill up the guards. Some 18-inch fluoro Advanti drift wheels tick the boxes and are wrapped in 225 Achilles ATR Sport tyres, all thanks to Wilkinson Suspension in WA. With everything fitted up, it was time to see how it looked. With the car looking better, it was time to get it performing and sounding better. First stop was Croydon Racing Development to do a base run and download the factory map so it could be tweaked later. The first step in adding power to a turbo car is always an exhaust system. We needed to make more power, but at the same time keep it quiet for daily duties. The X-Force VRX system is the perfect solution, with a valve that opens and closes, making the car go from sweet to super discreet in seconds, all by remote control. With the valve open, the muffler acts like any straight-through muffler, and when combined with the split dump and front pipe, high-flow cat and centre muffler, improves flow over the factory exhaust dramatically, has a nice note, and isn't over-the-top loud. When the valve closes, air is forced around the casing of the muffler, making it quieter than standard. The twin-tip design also looks a lot like factory. Looking at the exhaust side by side, you can see just how much flow will be improved. The guys at Kirawee Mufflers do the hands-on R&D for X-Force, making fitment a breeze.
Back on the wall with a glass of wine, full time for the time I'm swinging to climb to the part of my mind where I finally found you, laying right there in a bed of seduction, ready to erupt whenever we come to touching, staring at your eyes, can't tell if I trust them, but it's lust in her world, she must win, and just then I need her love, she's busting out my life quick, no way to ever reach the places that she is, no roads or any streets could lead you to her way, whenever you miss the tease of this high-heel mistress, and the tension of her skin sends signals, and right there and then I know what she intends to do with every part, this feeling is intense, I can tell what she likes through the way that she breathes, and then it just ends.
We also decided to fit the STI intercooler before tuning. It is around 35% bigger in surface area and has a better wire pipe for better flow. It won't make much of a difference power-wise on the dyno on a stock ECU, but it will allow for more slightly aggressive tuning and better cooling out on the road for more consistent power. Now it's time to get back on the dyno and see how much improvement the exhaust has made.
Shoulders in a place between you and being sober. Give myself over is the only way to control her. Walking through the doors like closer, she came closer. Belly with the clothes, I'm closer to get to know her. Hidden in the face.
With just the exhaust and intercooler fitted, the WRX picked up 16 kilowatts, taking it to 132. Jim modified the factory tune on the laptop and now it's time to upload it to the car. Years of experience means that Jim knows how to get it 90% right straight up, but every car requires some custom fine tuning. The car jumped into the 140 straight away, and with a few more tweaks, Jim had the car running 152 kilowatts. That's nearly 35 extra kilowatts, which equates to 30% more power. Not bad for an exhaust, STI intercooler and reflashed ECU, which can all be had for under $3,000 fitted or closer to 2 if you're handy with the spanners. Well, out on the road, noticing the extra 35 kilowatts when you have your foot flat is pretty easy. But the biggest surprise is not actually the outright power difference, it's the difference in low down and mid-range power that makes the car so much better to drive. Because it's auto, before when you came up to an intersection or a roundabout like this, slowed right down, the car would stay in second and be, well, slow. It had a real bad flat spot down low, but now, with the new tune in it, when you come up to an intersection and you need to take off again and you're stuck in low RPM range, it actually goes somewhere. So it makes it much more pleasant to drive, much easier to drive. You can see here, just easy to get going again. I actually think it makes the car a little bit safer to drive as well in traffic, because when you pull out, even if you're stuck in the wrong gear, now it'll actually go somewhere. So as well as being faster, the car is also better to drive, has more mid-range torque, more low down power, and is more fuel efficient. But scratch that, this is Motive DVD. You guys want to know how fast is it. So let's give it a test to 100, shall we? Wow, that is a lot quicker than I thought it would be. 5.5 seconds, 0 to 100. Very impressive indeed. I think the biggest difference in performance for this car from a standing start is that now with the extra low down power, you can actually load the car up against the converter, which means it takes off quickly. Before, when it was standard, you just couldn't get a quick takeoff no matter how hard you tried, because you couldn't get any revs against the converter. Now though, quite impressive. I'd love to take it to the track and see what quarter-mile time it does. In fact, I think we will take it to the track and see what quarter-mile time it does. Well, now that we've given the WRX some extra power, it's time to upgrade the brakes. Now, my attitude is that any car can benefit from a brake upgrade, as family and safety is the most important thing. Now, this is my wife's daily driver and my daughter is quite often in the back. Now, upgrading your rotors and pads to aftermarket performance items can be one of the most cost-effective performance and safety upgrades that you can do. And to show this, we're going to do a brake test. Now, the brakes on this WRX at the moment are completely standard. The only thing we've done is fitted fresh brake fluid, so that remains consistent. We've also got brand new tyres on there as well, so we shouldn't have to worry about the changing grip levels. Now, the guys from RDA EBC have given us a set of their slotted and dimpled performance rotors and a set of red stuff street-based performance brake pads. And what we're going to do is take the car out now, do 10 hard stops from 100 kilometers per hour to 0 to measure the braking distance as well as the brake fade as they get hot. We're going to take the car away, fit up the new rotors and pads, bed them in for a couple of 100 kilometers, come back, do it all again and measure the difference. Now, doing the brake test is simple. We don't need a tape measure or any other rubbish. All we need is this, a performance box. It's a GPS-based performance measuring device. All we have to do is drive along at 100 k's an hour, jump on the brakes, and this little bad boy will tell us how long, or how far I should say, it took us to go from 100 kilometers per hour to 0. Right, we did 100 down to 0 in 3.3 seconds and 44.9 meters. 48. Okay, let's have a look at the data. We did 18 hard stops from 100. Now, the WRX doesn't brake all that good, but in terms of brake fade, it actually held up pretty well. But the best braking distance we got was actually our 12th stop, 44.3 meters. It looked like we were starting to get a little bit of fade towards the end, but even our 18th stop was 47.5 meters. They did all right in terms of fade, but the distance, to be honest with you, leaves a lot to be desired. Time to install the new rotors and pads and bed them in. The rotors are slotted and dimpled for better cooling and less prone to cracking than cross-drilled rotors. It's all pretty straightforward stuff. With everything fitted up, a few days of the wife driving the car to work will bed them in nicely before we test them out again. Well, now it's time to test out the new RDA rotors and EBC red stuff pads. They've done about 200-300 kilometers of regular driving to bed them in, and now we're back at our closed industrial road. Exactly the same place, very similar conditions, so we can test them and see just how much of an improvement they have or haven't made. 42.5 meters. That's already better than any of the results we got last time. 43.2 meters. 44.4 meters. Wow. 57.0 meters. 60.1 meters. So what do these results say about these brake pads? Well, it tells me the coefficient of friction when cold is better than the original brakes. As the very first stop, it pulled up a couple of meters better than it ever did before, going from 42 to 60 meters in 5 stops, and then from 43 to 70 in 6 stops is not very good. In a daily driver, these pads aren't too bad. The coefficient of friction when cold means they do pull up better than the standard pads. However, I wouldn't recommend them if you're going to take the car to the racetrack or out for a run through your national park or the hills, as the brake fade from these is, well, not very good. After our brake test, we spoke with RDA EBC regarding our pad choice and decided to upgrade to yellow stuff pads on the front of the WRX. Okay, the yellow stuff pads are in, the car's operating conditions, so let's get the first one underway. 47 meters. Now we're getting somewhere. 43.2. 41.5. Okay, let's go for the 18th and final stop. 45 meters. We have now done 18 hard stops from 100, and the yellow stuff pads are much, much better than the red stuff pads for this test. Now, the first few stops were in the high 40s, which was looking roughly the same as before, but the pads potentially may not have been bedded in enough quite yet, and we got a little bit of temperature into them before our braking distance became the best it's ever been. We got 41.5 meters as our best, and there was a few 42s in there as well. But this time, no brake fade. The 18th stop was still 45 meters, which is better than the average we had originally on our standard pads. Now, what I'm going to do now is I've let the car cool down for about a minute after doing those 18 stops. I'm going to do one more stop now that they're bed in. Here we go, final stop. 40.3 meters. So in conclusion, this test goes to show it doesn't matter which brand of brake pad you buy, you need to make sure you get the right compound to suit not only the performance of your car, but the type of driving that you're going to do as well.